LDN help or worsen androgenic alopecia? I've been taking it for 6 weeks and I found some great benefits from it already. However, my shedding has drastically increased since being on LDN, and I was hoping it would help the hair loss. Thank you. So this is a really quite a wide question, and I actually think Michelle might be better off answering this one than me. But I'll give it a go, and if I don't quite get there, then step in at the end. But there's a couple of things. So alopecia isn't always just androgenic. So there can be an autoimmune effect for everybody, even if it's displaying as male pattern baldness. So you might have been diagnosed with androgenic alopecia, but it may also have an autoimmune component. So if there is, then absolutely LDN may have some benefit. But you're saying that you found some great benefits from it already. Clearly that's for another condition. So you already have some sort of autoimmune disease going on. Therefore, improving that is going to improve your overall health. It's going to reduce your inflammation, and it may well improve your hair growth in the long term. But even when you're treating androgenic alopecia with the specific medications that target testosterone in the scalp, you do initially get shedding increase because it interrupts the way that the hair follicles grow, and there's a hair follicle cycle that I could probably drag out of my memory from a million years ago, but I know that it takes quite a long time, and in order for new follicles to grow back, the old ones have to fall out. So I think maybe if I've missed something, Michelle might finish filling the gaps. No?
That was really, really well done. And as Stephen pointed out, the hair follicle takes about 90 days before you actually see much of it, right? So you may actually see some shedding of older hair, but that doesn't mean that there isn't somewhere in the process where it's actually starting to develop and perhaps new hair is growing up. And it does take some time. So sometimes it takes several cycles to see that. So I wouldn't give up hope. I would never give up hope on that. But again, sometimes LDN is not necessarily the only therapy that we use, especially for alopecia. Alopecia is not an easy, it's just not an easy disease because it's so different in so many different people. The other thing that we're finding is that sometimes there's a toxin load that we have to identify and also detox from before we can really get a handle on helping those hairs to grow.
I will add that it's also a genetic component, and there is a new genetic test out. It's called Tricho test, and it looks like specifically it's like a swab in your mouth. And so LDN is great, but also there's a lot of other components and usually another treatment you might need as well.